If you feel like life is pulling you in too many directions, that there's a void no distraction can fill, or if you simply want to better understand the so-called signs that echo across continents, then you've come to the right place. Before we begin, think about the people you love most, your family and friends who are facing challenges, seeking light, or needing a special grace for a difficult time. Write their names and those of their loved ones in the comments right now. We will add all these names to our main prayer, a Marian rosary we will pray together, asking for intercession and blessings for each of them. Medjugorje, a small village in Bosnia and Herzegovina, previously unknown, emerged on the world stage over 40 years ago as a meeting point between heaven and earth, a place where the transcendent touches everyday life. Its uniqueness lies not only in the apparitions, said to have been ongoing for a group of visionaries since 1981, but in the persistence and consistency of the messages that flow from there, year after year, through wars, disillusionment, and the dizzying transformations of the modern world. Millions of people from all over the globe have made pilgrimages to this place, seeking healing, conversion, hope, and answers to the great questions of existence, witnessing transformations that, for many, defy rational explanation. This is not a passing curiosity, but a lasting phenomenon that insists on making itself present, inviting us to pay attention to something that seems to go beyond what we can touch or see, pointing to a spiritual dimension that many of us, amid the hustle and bustle of everyday life, end up overlooking. The messages transmitted through the visionaries of Medjugorje for more than 4 decades are not announcements of imminent catastrophes or unbridled apocalyptic secrets. In truth, they are an urgent call, a kind of spiritual guide that lovingly summons us back to the foundations of a full and purposeful life. The visionaries do not announce an end, but rather a path, a simple yet profound return to sincere prayer, to fasting as a form of purification and spiritual strengthening, to confession as a renewal of the soul, to the Eucharist as vital nourishment, and to daily Bible reading to nourish us with wisdom and light. The warning is not about what will happen in the future, but about what we can and should do in the present to be prepared and find peace, no matter what the future holds. It is an exhortation to reclaim spiritual practices that, though ancient, are increasingly necessary to face the complexities of contemporary life. The insistence on now, highlighted by the visionaries, is not a mere whim. It reflects the urgency of the times we live in, an era of unprecedented distractions, where external noise often drowns out the inner voice and superficiality threatens to bury what is essential. We are immersed in a world that values the immediate, the material, the visual, and we easily become disconnected from the spiritual and the transcendent. The pressures of work, social media, the constant flow of information, all of this creates a fog that prevents us from clearly seeing the need to return to the foundations of faith and spiritual self-care. Therefore, the call to listen now is a cry for us to wake up, to not postpone our inner journey, to not put off until tomorrow the construction of our peace and spiritual strength, which are so vital to crossing the deserts of life. It is important to understand the role of the visionaries in this context. They do not position themselves as gurus or holders of occult knowledge. Rather, they act as mere channels, relaying messages they insist are not their own. Their perseverance for over 40 years, facing skepticism, persecution, and the constant pressure of an unexpected public life, lends a layer of authenticity to their experience. They continue to live their lives in an ordinary way, but always with an extraordinary commitment to fidelity to what they claim to see and hear. This reinforces the idea that the focus is not on the visionaries themselves, but on the message itself, a universal call that, if truly coming from a divine source, transcends the individuality of any individual to reach the universality of hearts thirsting for hope and direction. And how does all this translate into our daily lives? The warning addressed to us is not only for those who can go to Medjugorje, but for each of us in our homes, workplaces, and schools. It invites us to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, to find the sacred in the mundane. It means reclaiming the value of a prayer offered from the heart, not just from the mouth. It means learning to truly forgive, releasing the weight of resentment. It means dedicating time to silence and reflection amidst chaos. It means seeking honesty and charity in small actions. It is an invitation to be pilgrims in our own existence, seeking conversion and continuous improvement, so that the spiritual message is not just something we hear, but something we live and radiate to those around us, making our lives a testimony of peace. In the fast-paced and often hostile world we live in, with its emotional, financial, and existential challenges, the message of Medjugorje can be seen as the construction of a robust spiritual shield. It offers the tools to find the inner peace that allows us not only to survive, but to thrive in the face of adversity. By dedicating ourselves to prayer, reflection, forgiveness, and charity, we cultivate an inner garden of serenity, a refuge that no external turbulence can destroy. It is a path to developing a spiritual resilience that protects us from despair, frees us from excessive anxiety, and allows us to maintain faith even when everything seems uncertain. This is the true wealth that is offered, a wealth that money cannot buy and that problems cannot steal, the ability to find joy and calm within our own hearts. When we open ourselves to listening to and, more importantly, to practicing the advice of these messages, the fruits can be surprising. Stories of profound healings, unlikely family reconciliations, addictions abandoned, and lives completely transformed multiply. This is not a magic formula, but the result of a sincere opening of the heart and a conscious decision to seek a deeper connection with the divine. The hope that arises from this experience is not an empty illusion, but a certainty rooted in the experience of thousands of people who testify that, by responding to the call, their lives have been filled with renewed meaning, an unshakable inner strength, and a peace that transcends all understanding, allowing them to look to the future with confidence rather than fear. These warnings and directions emerging from Medjugorje, far from being complex or elitist, are in fact an invitation to transformative simplicity, fully applicable to our daily lives, to each of us. They are not distant sermons but practical keys to a fuller life, making prayer a real conversation with the divine, a moment of relief and gratitude, not a mere ritual. Forgiving from the heart, understanding that resentment binds us more than the offender. Seeking genuine peace in the heart, cultivating patience and acceptance, nourishing faith at every moment, even in small doubts, so that it grows and sustains us. And seeking daily conversions, which are small changes in our habits and thoughts that bring us closer to goodness. This is what the Visionaries' message asks of us: to live our faith intensely today, here and now in our ordinary lives, transforming the everyday into a path of holiness. Therefore, your participation is still essential for our collective moment of faith. Once again, think of your loved ones, of those who need a special prayer right now. Leave their names and those of their family members in the comments, and we will lift them up in our main prayer with the rosary, with a certainty that together we are stronger in spirit. In short, what Medjugorje presents to us through the visionaries and their persistent messages is not an apocalyptic prediction to frighten us, but rather an urgent invitation to hope, to the renewal of faith, and, above all, to a genuine and practical return to the essential values that fill the existential void in our souls. It is a call to awaken each morning and make conscious choices that guide us toward a fuller, more connected, and more serene life. It is a warning that translates into action, prayer, forgiveness, and daily conversion. We want to know your opinion and how all of this resonates with you. Which part of this message about the Medjugorje warning touched you most or made you reflect? Share your insights and experiences in the comments. Your participation enriches our community. If you enjoyed this video and feel it brought some light to your day, please like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming content. This way, you help us bring this message of hope to even more people seeking meaning and peace in their lives. May the light of Medjugorje illuminate your steps.